Now, I think one of his major abilities that he kept hidden all along from everyone around him, including his brother, is, I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing when we saw this scene right here.
I've just made your brain forget how to breathe.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this TV show has been ranking at number 1 for the past 2 weeks, Jupiter's Legacy. And as you can see from the thumbnail and the title and the clip that I just played, we're going to be focusing on one particular character from this TV show, Brainwave, and just how strong is he. Now, if you haven't seen the show, feel free to click off. There might be spoilers ahead, and if you're sticking around, let's get right into it. So Walter Sampson, or Brainwave, which is his hero name, is the older brother of Sheldon Sampson, also known as the Utopian. Now, when we got introduced to the heroes, we got shown some aspects of their abilities, but I don't think they showed us everything. And this was something that I really liked about the show. They would show us some heroes and their powers, and as the show went along, they would hit us with a little alley-oop and show us that they're actually stronger than we thought. For example, with George's son, Hutch, he had this little baton thing that he was always going around with, and we thought that all he could do was transport him from place to place and anyone could probably use it. But as the show went on, they showed us that there was actually more to it than that. So following this theme, the show introduced us to Brainwave, and the first thing that we thought was he had psychic abilities, right? He could either read minds or he was able to control people's minds. And the first time we saw this was when he was on the roof with Brandon, the Utopian son, and he was able to read his mind, to hear him thinking about what his dad said to his mom about him not being ready to become the Utopian. And we saw Brainwave, or Walter, show a lot of compassion towards his nephew. And the second time was when he was fighting against the blackstar copy, and he used his psychic ability to take blackstar's consciousness away from his body into this illusionary world where Brainwave said he is God. And bringing someone in here basically immobilizes them in real life. They can't move, they can't do anything. That was kind of overpowered. And as the show progressed, you start to kind of see more of just how strong he really is. For example, when he had to communicate with his daughter who was in Japan, he was able to bring her into the same illusionary world all the way from America, and it immobilized her as well. And he could see everything in her surroundings through her eyes. Anything could have happened to her there. Those people that were attacking her could have just killed her. And he was able to do that from all the way in America. That was... At that point I started to think, okay, like maybe he's not like the weakest one amongst the team. So does this ability not have any range at all? Could he just do it to anyone, anywhere in the world? Does it have to do whether the target is strong or not? I mean, his daughter is basically a hero, so she's probably up there when it comes to strength. Now, those were the first main abilities that we got shown. But then more gets revealed, and we find out that he can actually manipulate memories and even retrieve them. The first time was at the funeral of Brandon's friend, when the wife of the friend asked Brandon to request that Walter remove the memories of her husband from her children's minds so they don't feel as sad about it, or the memories of his dead body so they are not so traumatized by it. And Brandon said that he doesn't do that, especially not to kids. So that means he can manipulate people's memories to either forget things or maybe remember things wrongly. The second time was when they reconstructed Blackstar's, or the clone Blackstar's brain, and he was meant to go in and retrieve information to find out about George's plans. So if he can do that, what else can he do? And who can he do this to? So far I'm thinking he's looking pretty powerful, even though he's taking the backseat for most of the show. He just acts like Sheldon's little sidekick that barely does anything, right? And just inconvenient. But he might have had other reasons, which we'll get into in a bit. So keeping up with this theme of slowly revealing more about how powerful someone is, especially these not really main characters, like these side characters like Hutch, Blackstar, Chloe. With the Utopian and his wife, we kind of see just how strong they are. With these other people, it slowly gets revealed to us as it goes along. So we see Brainwave go visit Blackstar in his cell, And Blackstar made a comment about how ballsy he must be to come into the cell alone. And honestly, I thought the same thing. Like, why is he doing this? This guy could literally just get up and snap his neck. But then he basically controlled Blackstar's brain and stopped his respiratory center, or the part that's in charge of allowing him breathe, to stop working. And at this point I was thinking, what? Wait, you could do that all along and you just let your friends and your brother almost get ripped to shreds by the carbon copy of this person, and you were struggling there with your mind thing, and this looked so effortless to him. Stopping him from breathing looked so effortless compared to him trying to keep him in that illusionary world or whatever. So, alarm bells started ringing. Like, what's going on? Was Blackstar just weak because he's been in the prison cell? Maybe. But still, he's able to stop someone's breathing just like that. So anything to do with the brain he can control? Is that what they're trying to tell us? Now, I think one of his major abilities that he kept hidden all along from everyone around him, including his brother, is his ability to make clones. And I believe he did this in order to further his plans along, his sinister plans along. Now, this got revealed in the last episode when he confronted his daughter Raikou about what she found out when they both went into the clone Blackstar's mind. And she said all she knows is that he was the one who cloned Blackstar, and he did it in order to cause a rift within the Union. What? And not only that, he also set a trap in the brain of that Blackstar that triggered the fake George to be there to fight against him, just to make this whole theatrical performance for everyone that was around to look like he was struggling to receive the information that he went in to try and get, and like he could even die from doing it. This man is evil, but smart, but evil. So he can set traps in people's minds, he can clone anything, he can basically do a Mangekyo Sharingan Genjutsu, take you into another world, false reality thing. He can stop you from breathing if he wants. So like, he can just set traps in people's minds, and if someone else that has a psychic ability tries going in there, they'll just get trapped there. What? Is he stronger than the Utopian? Honestly, maybe. Maybe. So Walter had this sinister plan all along to cause a rift in the Union, and he's been framing George for everything. When they found that orb inside Blackstar, and they said, oh, it must belong to George because he's the only one that has this type of technology, it was him. And when they found the pocket watch of their dad inside the orb that looked exactly the same, with the same crack and everything, they thought it was George, or they weren't sure where it came from. But now we know. Walter made a clone of the watch and put it in there. But why? And honestly, when I saw it the first time, I was thinking, oh, they might be trying to explore some parallel universes. Because first we saw 2 Blackstars, then we saw 2 of the same watch, exactly the same. So I was thinking, is there another dimension, like a parallel universe where there's starting to be a crossover or something? But it's just that this dude had cloning abilities all along. So he was able to clone Blackstar. He was able to clone a watch, which are both organic, living, and inorganic, non-living things. What else can he clone? Himself? So in the last few scenes of the season, we get shown Walter while he's talking to Raikou, his daughter, at her apartment. But at the same time, they were running a parallel scene of him being at the Union and Sheldon coming in and them having a conversation. Now these 2 scenes were running side by side to each other. And from the first clip of when Walter told Raikou that proximity is their friend when it comes to reading minds, and then they kind of panned while the audio was still playing to Walter being in the Union seated, and it seemed like it was 2 of him at the same time, like one was a projection and one was actually him. I might be reaching, okay, I might be reaching here, but that's what it seemed like. Were there two of him? Maybe. Did he clone himself? I don't know. But I kind of doubt it, because with Blackstar, they showed us that the clones are not necessarily in alliance with their original. And the clone Blackstar couldn't talk. But this Walter, or both of them, were talking. So either that was something that was hidden and they could actually talk, and his clone is just maybe more advanced. Maybe it's been around for a lot longer than the Blackstar clone, and because of that, it's been able to, have some conversational abilities. And one him is just going around trying to further his sinister plan, maybe even working with George, while the other him is just trying to gather good favors and good karma with everyone else in the team, and being that loving uncle and brother to everyone else around. Maybe if he can control someone's breathing, or the center in the brain that's responsible for breathing, he can control anything in the brain. If he's able to create a hallucination and trigger the parts of the brain that are responsible for things like smell, sensory, touch, or whatever, he might be able to make someone think a hallucination is actually real. If when he touches you, he triggers the part of the brain that is responsible for feeling something in that area, then it's possible that he has made a physical apparition of himself. That is very convincing. And could he have also manipulated the minds of other people in the Union? Maybe, maybe not. If he could have, his plan might be a lot more further along than it currently is. So I'm not sure. Like I said, it might be a stretch that he is a clone, but I'm not writing it off. If he could clone Blackstar, he probably could clone himself as well. But with that being said, I'm still a bit confused about the last scene with his daughter. When she was about to stab him with the knife and he stopped her, and you see reality sort of deconstruct or reconstruct itself, and then you see him lying down next to her with her neck slit. Can he do that? Can he just reconstruct reality in a moment like that? What? Honestly, if he can control people's brain activities, the amount of things he could do is just unfathomable. Like, there's just so many things he could do. He can make someone feel dizzy even if they're not. He can make things look blurry to them even if it's not. Like, he might be as strong as the Utopian, but he knows, or his end goal is to have people rally behind him. I don't think he's trying to become like the strongest hero or whatever. And he knows the best way to do this is by kind of manipulating the people within. He might be stronger than the Utopian, or he might be as strong as him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Was there any of his powers that you think that I missed? And also, there's a DC hero who actually has this exact same name and the exact same abilities. So you can go check that out. I thought it was very interesting. Maybe that's where the show got the inspiration for the character from. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts about this, and I'll see you next time.